up, Mike? Toronto. VK on the beat. Check. I'm in Toronto, where you wanna get the city love. I'm from Toronto, where you wanna get the city love. I'm in Toronto, like we wanna get the city love. My city love me back for my city love.
Welcome to episode 1420. 1420 of Toronto Mic'd. Proudly brought to you by Great Lakes Brewery, a fiercely independent craft brewery who believes in supporting communities, good times, and brewing amazing beer. Order online for free local home delivery in the GTA. Palma Pasta. Enjoy the taste of fresh, homemade Italian pasta and entrees from Palma Pasta in Mississauga and Oakville. RecycleMyElectronics.ca. Committing to our planet's future means properly recycling our electronics of the past. The Advantaged Investor Podcast from Raymond James Canada. Valuable perspective for Canadian investors who want to remain knowledgeable, informed, and focused on long-term success. And Ridley Funeral Home. Pillars of the community since 1921. Today, returning to Toronto Mic'd is both Ray Dawn Chong and Mary Jo Eustace. Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Hello. We're so excited.
Hi. Can I just ask a question? For the international version, will my name be first and then her name second?
You know, I wrestled with this.
Just want to know.
I wrestled with this because, Mary Jo, we talk a lot.
Yes, correct.
And
do you guys talk a lot in the pod?
No, not.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't get on that pod too often. Like, my voice is not on your podcast very often, right, MJ? But we talk a lot before and after.
Personally.
Yeah,
We
like
have a lot of WhatsApp.
You guys are very
exchanges.
intimate. You guys are intimate.
Do you listen
we are?
Do you listen to Mary Jo's podcast, Ray Dawn Chong?
Yes, I do. I have a really good laugh because I think it's hilarious. She educates me often. I learn a lot about her, and I also learn a lot about women and people. You know, I learned a lot about David Furnish that I didn't know about, and it was exciting. And her recent, in a way, it was a gap when she was like, this lady, she's like, what are you doing about dating men? And the lady's like, I'm a lesbian.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
It's really
My
exciting.
radar was off for that one.
No, but you know, why should your radar be on? It's like, I have a friend who has who's a famous actor who has a daughter who is now a they, them. You know, it's hard to kind of get the pronouns right, you know, without making a thing. You can't assume just because somebody has a set of boobs and whatever that they're cisgendered, which, you know.
Ray Dawn,
I mean, kids are teaching us stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, above my pay grade. But anyway, she was hilarious. She was great.
She was sexy,
super cute.
smart. Yeah.
Totally.
please tell the listeners,
So
Mary Jo, tell the listeners the name of your podcast so they can subscribe right now.
Okay, the name of my podcast is called Senior Bitches, and it's on Apple and Spotify, and we were charting all over the world last week, which was absolutely amazing. And Mike is the producer. We've got great guests coming up. We're doing another guy who's got worldwide fame and a total stud. We're going to do that. And some great guests. And it's so much fun because I mean, from Dubai to London to France to Canada to California with this beauty here, we find out so many interesting things about how women are aging around the world. And Mike is so super educated. Like at the end of the podcast, he's like, I didn't know that. So it's just been a wild ride. We've been having a blast, right?
Isn't it sad, you guys, that in 2024, we have to educate people on how to age?
Yeah. Well, we're not supposed to as women. Remember that. We're not supposed to age as women. We're supposed to become invisible. We're not allowed to get stronger and more sexual and more powerful.
And we're supposed to have like a shaved vagina so that it looks like a really weird piece of whatever, a peach. I don't know. I get sort of sad about that. And you look at someone's scrotum after age 35, it's long.
It is long, but you know
the
what?
long sack. But no one ever says, you got to tighten that scrotum, dude.
Or your balls. And listen, I've been with some late 50, early 60 men. They have really nice balls. So it depends.
I've
But yeah,
never
stuff
seen a pair
drops.
of balls that I thought were really nice. It always looks like this like undulating earth, like like an odd planet that just do you know it constantly moves? Okay, we're getting
Yeah,
really
some are a little
X-ray.
tighter. Some are a little tighter than others. But anyway, not that I'm an expert. But yeah. But
Mary
as
Jo,
women, we're not supposed to age. Shut up. As
okay.
women, we're not supposed to age.
Do women
Mary Jo,
care?
That's what I know.
Do women
Sorry.
care about the balls? Like, do you want big balls that hang low, or do you like them? Like
No.
Mary Jo seems to like them like tight and taut.
It's nice when they're tight, like when they're too low.
But if
I
they're
don't
too
know.
shiny, there's something wrong with them. Like you have to have balls that look healthy. You don't want
Like a
anyone's
mid.
junk to look like it could be problematic.
Oh, you don't want like you want some like natural pubic hair on these balls, is what you're saying, right, Ray Dawn? Or
She likes pubic hair. I'm not a big
Well,
fan,
I'm a
but
bit
you
of a
like
bush.
pubic
I'm
hair.
bushy. I'm definitely bushy. And I'll tell you something. One of the reasons is because there's a natural fragrance that comes with hair. And when you don't have hair, it always smells like a product. So for all those people
Oh.
that like it shaved and clean and all that creepiness, you're a little bit pedophilic and you're also creepy.
Okay, no judgment here. Okay, good
There's
to
big
know.
judgment.
A little judgment.
Okay.
Okay, balls and pussies. We're off to the races. We're 3 minutes in.
Okay, well, that's what I'm hoping for. A nice
Let's go.
conversation. Just remember, I'm the boss around here, so I'm gonna put us in certain directions. But if you two want to go off on a tangent, I will try to get out of the way because I mean I have Mary Jo Eustace and Ray Dawn Chong, so it'll be exciting to be a fly on the wall as you guys chat. But I want to just open.
Yeah, we want you. We need you.
But we love you. And we know that you've had an incredible year. We're lucky to have you. You almost died.
Yeah.
Well, okay.
it's
Well,
true.
I don't want. Like I want to drill into that. Like I feel like you guys might have questions for me, but just I want to acknowledge the fact this is episode 1420, which means it's like the second 420 episode, which begs the question: do either of you smoke weed?
No. Do you smoke weed?
No, I do. I'm gummy obsessed. So I've hit up
That's
every
not smoking weed.
dispensary.
Okay, so you
No,
consume.
I've got a vape. I have a vape, but I don't smoke weed. No.
Mary
No.
Jo's the partaker. She's the little stoner. I don't do anything. I was raised with it and I stopped smoking weed officially when I was 18. And then because it's my dad's religion, I kind of rebelled and it's not
Right.
my religion. I mean, I was more of a drinker. And then it's been 7 years since I had a drink and I don't do anything now.
Okay, congrats on the 7 years.
Congratulations. That's amazing.
How is
Actually-
your father, Tommy Chong, doing?
You know, he's good. He's got a new documentary coming out and it's premiering at South by Southwest. It's the premiere opener for South by Southwest. It's the Cheech and Chong's last movie that my sister produced with Dave Buchel directing. So Robbie Chong and Dave Buchel have organized the most beautiful documentary about Cheech and Chong. It's fabulous.
I mean, that's amazing. I didn't know about this, but I think 2024 will have a lot of Tommy Chong talk and resurgence, and maybe
he's 85 and he's got all these like strange businesses with his products. So that's kind of cool. And I know that this one company's pushing a lot of the gummies like ad nauseum. So I think he should be doing well. I'm not that underfoot with him. So I appreciate my father and I really love him. And I'm grateful that he's my dad in a way. He's a better comedian than he is a father. But I do love him. And yeah, I think 2024, to me, my dad is so famous. Like he's one guy if you walk around as me, nobody really recognizes me. It's not a big deal. I mean,
That's
I get
not
some
true,
people.
by the way.
Well,
That's not
but
true.
it's not like people don't lose their, I'll go to a restaurant or go somewhere with my dad and people just lose it. Like it's that level, it's the next level of fame that
Can I put up my hand and tell a story? Am I allowed? Okay, so Ray Dawn is hysterical. She's got an RV, and this is her whole life. She's got this RV. Is it one bedroom? I don't know what it is, but she's driven around the country with it, and so it's amazing. It's like it's her paradise. So what she does is she goes out to the beach, and we go along with her in the RV. She makes us delicious food, and she sits us outside. She takes care of us. It's like this transportable home. And the very first time I did that, it was for her birthday, and it was in February, and we went to where we saw the Red Hot Chili Peppers surfing, that guy, whatever his name was.
Anthony
Kiedis.
Yeah. So
we
we're
don't want
having
to
this
say
lunch.
we don't want to say the name of the beach because it's a secret find. It's a secret beach. And a lot of people go that happen to be famous because
Okay, so I won't say the name. I forgot it anyway. So we go for this lunch, and it's Radon's birthday, and she's, right before your 21-day fast, and she's making this beautiful lunch, and I meet her dad for the first time, right? And what I noticed about the meeting is her dad was like, Radon, I did this. Radon, I did that. Radon. Like he wanted her approval and her attention, and she could do no wrong. And he was so visibly, viscerally proud of you. It was just incredible and just so charming, so unassuming, but like always out of the corner of his eye, his daughter.
You know what's
It was
interesting,
really beautiful to watch.
I'll tell you something that's interesting. I had a near-death experience in Morocco. I was on a movie called Things I Forgot to Remember. And in the coma that I was in, what happened was I took this very strong antibiotic. I thought the French Moroccan doctor said take 3 pills on an empty stomach 3 times a day. Actually, what he said is take 1 pill with food 3 times a day. So I took 6 pills with no food, and I went into renal failure and I had a seizure. I'm in Morocco in a hotel. I'm on a shoot, and I have a seizure. Thank God I was in Morocco, because I think if I was in America, nobody would have touched me. But they put me in a room, they wrapped me up, they got the doctor to come back, and he was able to put some adrenaline in, and I wrote it out. But while I was in the coma, my father's voice, and I was super near death, and I started to ask questions about what happens to humanity, what happens to us when we die. And one of the big questions I had was, what is God? And it told me it was a feminine principle. And it was all done in my dad's voice. What is God? Wow. And it was Tommy Chong the whole time. It was so weird. And then another thing it taught me was where you die, that is your birthday and your birthplace of your next life. So as soon as you die,
but you didn't die there.
I didn't, but I was close. And since I was in Morocco and I'm a woman, apparently I kept saying, not here, not here, not here, because women have I don't know if you've ever been to Morocco, but women are treated pretty poorly. And it's sad. And I had been there for almost a month at that point, and I was very fluent on Moroccan customs. Women do all the work. They do all the animal husbandry. They do all the agriculture. And what do the men do?
Like everywhere else, by the way. Like everywhere else.
And what do the men do?
Fuck all.
They go to the cafe and talk politics. And they have convinced the female population of Morocco that this is an actual fucking job.
Sounds worldwide.
So I'm there going.
And your dad came to you sort of when you were crossing over.
Well, it kind of made me think, wow, that we had some kind of deep connection. And it was just strange.
Yeah.
Well, you just don't think when you're in a coma that you're father's boy.
So I know it's complicated with you and your dad, Radon, like obviously, but I'm wondering, are you at a point where you'll attend the big premiere of this documentary? Like, will you attend that?
I will come to the LA screening, but I won't go to Austin, Texas. I won't go to South by Southwest. For one thing, it's his moment, but I'll definitely go to the LA screening because I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen it, and we're in it, so
I want to come.
Mary Jo, quick production note, because I'm curious now, and then I want Ray Dawn to talk more about me for a few moments, if that's okay. But this is important, okay?
Great.
When we hook up and we record the excellent podcast, Senior Bitches.
Hook up. Yes.
And you often refer to me as a bitch, and I kind of like it when you call me bitch, and it's fun, this thing we do. But you always, we get your USB mic, we set it up, you sound so amazing. Do you not have the USB microphone?
Oh, yeah, right, I got it right here. I have it right here. Do I sound bad?
No, now you sound better. I think it was too far away. Like I was just like, she sounds like she's in a bathroom. Yeah. Okay. You sound
and it's
much
funny.
better.
You guys just reminded me. Let me get my snowball going. Well, fine. You guys talk.
Get it. Okay, get it working. And did you want to ask me a real question, or were you just making fun of me on a national podcast? Just curious.
Not making fun of you. No, I just wondered why we weren't. You didn't sound as good for this show as you do on your great podcast, Senior Bitches. So
I just had the mic over to the side, so I didn't pull it in front of me. I wish you had reminded me. We've been like on the air for 2 hours. I wish you had told me.
We just started
about my audio.
Mary Jo, let me tell the listenership about your Toronto Mic debut, because if somebody listening to this is like, I want to hear the A to Z of Mary Jo Eustace's life and times in her career, like I want to send them to episode 1145. And we recorded that in November 2022. And then I'm going to read the description I wrote at the time. You ready, MJ?
Yeah.
I think so.
Okay.
I see you
Go.
said, you ready, MJ? And I said, yes.
Should I be medicated? Just go.
Okay.
Roll it out, bitch. He likes that when I talk to him like that.
I do
Don,
like
he
it when
likes it.
MJ calls
Yeah.
me bitch. I don't know what that says about me, but okay.
Shut up and read.
Shut up and read.
Okay, go.
In this 1145th episode of Toronto Mic'd, Mike chats with, so I'm going to say this name now because it's going to come up a bit, Dean McDermott and Mary Jo Eustace about how they fell in love, why Dean left the marriage and married Tori Spelling, the tabloid circus that followed, and how they learned to be friends again. And then I talked about how you can subscribe to the new podcast, X's and Uh-Ohs. And we talked for, a good 100 minutes. But reading that description now, about 18 months later, it sounds like it's from the 1930s or something. Like, it's like, holy smokes, like, did that happen? What say you, MJ? And then what say you, Ray Don Chong? What happened there?
I like that you said holy smokes. My Aunt Sue used to say that. She was a nun. She would say holy smokes.
Holy smokes.
What happened? Like what happened? Like the quick version?
Well, yeah, because you've been on to talk about the fact that, that project we had with Dean McDermott fell apart fairly quickly. Like we recorded 11 episodes and we dropped a couple and then he tapped out and we had speculated about why we thought he tapped out, but maybe now is the time to just tell us all maybe the short version of how X's and Uh-Ohs became senior bitches.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, because my friend Ray Dawn's on, she is a truth serum
she
queen.
Can do
it. No, I'll do it. I can talk for myself. I'll tell. Yeah, I did the X's and Ohs podcast with my ex-husband, and the question was, can you reconnect with your ex and have it copacetic? And we went on this journey. And the whole thing blew up. Essentially, it blew up because his wife, I guess she's going to be his ex-wife soon, did not like it. She was uncomfortable with it. Their dynamics. By the way, I have nothing to do with it anymore. And it's like the greatest liberation in my life. And so it was important for me to try that journey because it was such a significant event in my life to have my personal life implode so publicly and all the damage and collateral damage, which is my children, my livelihood, everything, to actually address it. My intention was to go into it in an authentic way, to examine this, to come to some sort of healing, to set out a template for other people who were going to go through this. So this was my original reason for doing it. But in actuality, I just put myself right back into the line of fire. So I take full responsibility for entering a situation that wasn't safe. But what I've learned from that has been so extraordinary. And it put me on a trajectory of where I really want to be, which is senior bitches talking about aging and the beauty and the mess of life. And Ray Dawn and I talk about this all the time, about the ugly, the beautiful, the highs, the lows, how you have to embrace it all and go through it and learn your task and your lesson. So I see it as part of my evolution. And quite frankly, to sum it up really quickly and clearly, I am so excited that I have nothing to do with vile individuals. And I will say that to anybody who asks. I think my ex-husband is living in a halfway home right now on food stamps and proud of it. And we have complete distance and I can look at it and go, wow, I want nothing to do with that. I've learned what I needed to learn from that situation. We'll probably continue to learn from that situation.
Also, it was an opportunity to deepen with your children.
Exactly.
It was a really good,
and it did,
because they had some false idea of him, and they were able to live it out.
Right. And this was like the biggest gift because it's always grass is greener on the other side, especially for my daughter who was in the process of being adopted by Dean. And then he went and met Tori and they did their movie. They actually got pregnant with a child and then signed off on Lola's adoption. So Lola wanted to explore that situation and see what that relationship was like. But in actuality, and this is the first time I'm saying this anywhere, called People Magazine, Mike, when Lola and I had a disagreement, which you do have with teenagers, thank you, she went to stay with Tori and Dean. But what that was all about is they wanted her to sell stories to the press about me and do interviews and make money. And Lola, to her credit, at 17 years. Yes.
You mean Tori Spelling uses her children for press?
Oh,
What?
shocker.
Tori
Shocker.
Spelling uses children to get press? What?
Head blown, brains blown. So Lola declined and said, I'm not taking money to make money off this. Or, I mean, I'm sure it wasn't even that. She was like, what? She said no. And then shortly after she said no, they tried to throw her out of the house. So there's a whole other story behind that. But the healing at the end of the day, a year later, and this is all true. I can go into a million pieces of detail, but I won't here. I healed my relationship with my children. And that is the best game going. My daughter's in pre-med. My son lives a mile away from me. He's going to do his LSATs. I talk to him every day. Ray Dawn, I want you to talk about Christmas Eve. So the healing that's come from it.
It was the greatest gift. Dean in his marital explosion and Tori in her sadness and obvious, complex of needing to have publicity. It blew up, but it made your family closer, completely transparent. All of the mom's a bad person came out, and it wasn't true. But it was scary and it was horrible. It was like the worst, best thing to ever happen to you.
Yeah. I used to call you from Rome and go, what the fuck?
We were holding MJ together because let's face it, Magic Mike, people in our culture, I know I called you Magic, but Toronto Mike, people in our culture, particularly in our society, we only celebrate when things are good and people win. We don't really value equally when things go rotten and it's completely horrifying. And it's equally as valuable to a process.
Yeah.
So to be honest, it's like when someone's winning, because of the laws of nature, they're going to have the reverse. And instead of going, treating people like they have a disease when they're going through hard times, we need to be equally as impressed. Wow, it's bad and you're doing pretty damn good. And that, I think, should be the lesson here. You're only as good as how shitty things are. And if you get through without losing your balance, you're golden. You're what I call bona fide.
It was a journey.
Let me just chime in and say, MJ, just as your friend, okay, I am so happy that you repair the relationship with your kids. Because as I said to you through this whole process, nothing else is going to fucking matter here. It's like you got these two kids and your relationship with them is everything. And you can't let these external factors fuck that up. And you repaired it. And it sounds like you build it back better here. It sounds like it's really strong and you're dropping, I'm jealous here.
I think it's better.
Yeah, the daughter is going to be a doctor. The son's going to be a lawyer or whatever. It's like, what the fuck is going on there? I got to get my shit together. But I'm just so happy for that. All the rest is just noise. Your relationship with your kids is everything.
Bravo, MJ.
Yeah, it was.
Here's the award.
Yeah. And I had incredible support with RD in particular. And I remember whenever she would say to me, this is bad, I knew it was bad because she will never say that. And she'd go, oh God, this is fucked up. But again, really, I was not getting along with my daughter who was 17. Let's look at hundreds of millions of parents around the world. That's not, teenage daughter, single mom, not the greatest recipe. And we were having issues. And then something, it happened, and then it gets in the press. That happens every day. And, what's interesting is the shame of that and the humiliation of that. Once I let go of that, once I let go of the perfect mom's going, my daughter's a cheerleader and straight A's and she, cleans up and everything. Yeah, I'm like, my daughter's not living with me. And once I let go of that as a mom, that was so powerful. And then I gave the space for all of this to heal and all of this mess to resolve. It wasn't easy, but it was the best thing we ever went through. So it is good.
Fuck the press, right? Fuck the press. I had that little taste. We talked about it, MJ. Ray Dawn, we haven't talked about it because it happened after our last chat, which I'm going to tell people about in a minute. But that little taste, and again, I know it was your son's Instagram that was reproduced by people, and then it got picked up by whatever, Us Weekly, and all these places, this unnamed producer betraying Dean's trust and this and that. And I'm thinking, well, at least fucking name that producer, right?
I know. Give me some press, some real publicity.
Ray Don, what was it like for you in California reading the tabloids dragging this unnamed producer?
I know. I was really sad for you, Mike, and I knew that you were probably in shock because it's such vitriol. In fact, right now, to be honest, I've been sort of just watching the Kanye West and his creepy wife and that whole art, that thing he's doing with her. He's just denigrating her, and she's not smart enough to realize that it's not good, the setup. And the way the press and people are allowing, in a way, this weirdness. And I kind of think it's reflective of our culture that people will let the worst behavior happen and not step up and not step in. And people will buy it and keep eating it, whether it's a Nazi, whether we're literally watching in real time a woman be abused by a sociopath. And I think, what does that say about our culture, our society? I mean, it's just rotten.
Yeah, I literally don't even know a thing about this, Ray Don. So it's like,
I want you to, while we're talking, to go on your phone and type in Kanye West's wife and see what shows up. It's unreal.
Yeah, he wraps her in a garbage bag and takes her places.
She has strips of clothing. He makes her walk. Well, they walk in public and she's naked and she's basically wearing a dog collar. It's unreal.
Hot.
What?
Super hot, super sexy. But for you, what's and you're 100% right. And your experience, Mike, of it was like when you get caught up in it. Ray Don, you've had this too with your press and all this stuff. Once you get in that machine,
Oprah calling Oprah the N-word.
Yeah, your Oprah incident.
I've had the world hate me.
What was the context there? What's the context?
You're unfiltered.
The context was that I had, in 2014, I did a podcast and I said how I was complimenting Oprah that she was so successful. And I had just seen Django Unchained like 4 or 5 times because I thought it was a really good movie. I was all N-worded up. And I sat on a bed and said, Oprah's really impressive because back in the day, she wouldn't have been a house and she would have been a
like
field.
Sam Jackson, in that movie.
Back in the day. And TMZ took it on a Friday news dump and said Ray Don Chong calls Oprah an N-word.
See, that's such bullshit. You got done dirty there because the context is all lost in that headline.
Well, of course I got done dirty, but that's the rule of press, and the English invented the shitty press. So I don't know. I'm not as smart as Disraeli, but I do want to say that this recent gossip of how Oprah doesn't pay people, or that's the rumor allegedly, or that Tyler Perry, I kind of think it's important for our culture to survive that the idols get pierced, that these false narratives get pierced. The fact that we just put celebrity on a pedestal without saying, is their origin story true? Are these people being authentic? And it turns out, no. I mean, even, looking at Trump's story, there's nothing authentic about his life. He's a complete, it's a complete lie. But this is important, I think. I think it's important to be authentic.
Wait, Donald Trump was disingenuous?
God. I know he's orange, but disingenuous?
Oh my God. And how many people has he murdered? I mean, come on.
Or
but they're starting to do it now.
Or whatever.
Okay,
which is really,
we'll get
really
back to the State of the Union, but go ahead, MJ.
Yeah, but point being, because I think of Mike as pure as driven as a Canadian snow. Like I just think of this lovely Canadian.
But does that take away his balls? I mean, shouldn't we say he's
no? We talk all the time about how super hot and sexy he is. That's what we talk about.
He's super hot and sexy, but if you say he's pure as a driven snow, he's boring.
No, but I'm just saying, and so nice and kind. And so we get into doing this podcast with Dean and we think that, we're going to change the world. And then he gets done dirty. And I mean, he had like a taste of it and he was traumatized.
Wait a second. Here's the thing about the whole Dean thing that I think, Mike, is really something that's reflective of you.
This is a ha-ha moment.
I'm ready.
Here's the aha moment. Dean, to me, it personifies the neutered powerlessness of the distorted masculine.
Oh, I like that. That's good.
Who neutered him? Is it Tori Spelling who neutered him? Where did the neutering come in?
He came in neutered.
He was neutered because his His mom neutered him because Dean doesn't know how powerful he is. And the job of a mother is to encourage children, male or female, to find their power. And how do you disempower a child, especially a male child? You never let them find and discover
Cut off his balls.
that they can fly.
Yeah.
And kids need to find out that they can find their way home,
Wow.
that they can survive, that they can pass a test. They don't need to be, coddled and
Yeah, but he's a Gen Xer. I feel like he was. I mean, he's older than I am. Like he was coming home when the lights went on, when the street lights went on and stuff like that. Like he wasn't, bubble wrapped and raised like.
Well, we don't know, but obviously, because if you think,
Bubble wrapped.
whenever somebody dumps you for somebody they think
Helicopter
is
parenting.
rich,
Right.
but whenever somebody dumps you for somebody they think has more social standing or is rich, that's an immediate sign of disempowerment. Like, if you are a powerful, truly powerful person, you would never even consider being that shallow.
Are you suggesting though that a part of the allure of Tori Spelling to Dean and the reason he left his marriage here is that her father was because he's passed away, shout out to Ridley Funeral Home, but Aaron Spelling was a very, very rich man?
Yeah, I am actually alluding to that I think he thought he had married into money, and little did he know that her mom, Candy, is greedy.
We know it's also really interesting. We project a lot of way more interesting qualities onto these people who are train wrecks than we should even bother. Some people are
about it, but you have grump about it. I don't even feel grumpy about it. I feel sad for Dean because Dean is on food stamps.
Quick interjection to say
Good point.
Before the done dirty in the press and the whole thing there that I was traumatized by, as MJ said. I don't think I was traumatized.
You seemed it to me.
But were you traumatized because you'd never had anyone speak badly about
No,
you?
God, no. First of all, no. I'm not an angel. I'm not a saint, okay? But that was my first taste of the tabloids doing you dirty. And I just said to MJ that I think I experienced 0.01% of what you went through. And I felt some compassion and some empathy for MJ. I was not even traumatized by that. I just thought it was unfair that this was said about me because it's not how it went down. But I want to say, my interjection is to say that before that, I don't know what this says about me, but I really liked Dean McDermott. I actually thought Dean and I were friends. This is why it really bugged me, because we had private Zooms and we connected and we'd shoot the shit about hockey, and we're both Toronto guys. And I just felt like we were buddies. And then I was double crossed and I never heard from him again. And that hurt me on some human level.
Well, it's crazy. You're Canadian. This is one thing I like about being a Canadian, because I'm Canadian too, is that we believe people. Right. How do you get a pool full of Canadians out? You just tell them. In America, they're going to tell you to fuck off, or Britain, fuck off. We're so sweet.
Right.
So you believed him. And the thing about Dean, I think he's got a couple personalities. I don't think there's only one Dean in there. I think for you to ditch yourself and to not have power, you've got to split. I think he's got a big split or two.
Okay, that's enough about him. That's
enough about Dean? Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
Yeah,
so my question for Ray Dawn is, where exactly is the microphone? Because I noticed when you made the change, you got more distant.
How about this?
Okay, better.
There's your snowball. Now I can see it.
Can you see my snowball?
Okay, that's better.
I can see your snowball. I can see it.
MJ here. Okay.
So, is that better?
Yeah.
That's better.
Yes. Much better.
Let me tell the listenership that Ray Dawn Chong has been on Toronto Mic'd before. She's already an FOTM. We connected in December 2022. This was episode 1165, and this is the description I wrote at the time. In this 1165th episode of Toronto Mic'd, Mike is joined by actress Ray Dawn Chong as they discuss her career from Quest for Fire to Commando and beyond. We talked about your father, Tommy Chong. You told us a story. Let me tell you this, Ray Dawn Chong, and I have to say all three names. MJ, what do you call her? RD?
No, I'm Ray Dawn
RD.
Chong. By the way, I made Bill Maher's show today.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. I have it.
Yeah.
Play it next.
I call her RD. Hey, you. Whatever.
Okay, so Ray Dawn Chong. I like all three names, but Ray Dawn Chong told a story about Mick Jagger when she came on Toronto Mike that made the best of. We have every 250 episodes. We have best ofs, and Al Grego put that revelation in the best of episode as a mind blow. Like, that was quite the drop. Like, how young you were, how young you looked, and what you did with Mick Jagger. That was quite a bomb. So.
And it impacted my career. I have to give him thank you, because I was able to do his solo album video, Running Out of Luck, and then that helped me get Commando.
So,
and the rest is history.
But it's kind of like tough to hear that, right? Because what were you, 14?
15.
15, but you said you looked 12 or something, but you were 15.
Probably. I look like a little Moroccan boy, a 12-year-old Moroccan boy, which means basically that they're all the guys that I was fooling around with are gay.
Oh.
Is that how it works? I got to take notes over here.
Yeah, because I had no shape. I was just this little thin thing, and I look like a little Moroccan boy. Just so you know.
So if we do the math, does that mean that Mick Jagger's gay? We don't know.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Listen, my son's the gayest of the gay of the gay. There's nothing wrong with it. I support it. But interesting.
Mary Jo.
Here,
so cute.
She's
so proud of her son being gay.
I'm so proud.
I actually, because I have 4 kids, but 2 are like prepubescent, so I have no idea what's going to happen there. But the first 2 turned out straight, and I am mildly disappointed that I have like a couple of.
You should be. Having a gay son, first of all, his hygiene is very
glamorous.
Excellent. So glamorous. On Christmas Eve, we went to his Christmas party and there were drag queens and we sang Coming Down the Chimney with Your Tits Out. Remember that song? And I got up and danced.
Really good. It's a very mesmerizing song.
Is this a story you wanted?
How much fun did we have?
Yeah, I want to hear the story from Ray Dawn, because I think earlier, MJ, you said you wanted Ray Dawn to talk about Christmas Eve. So Ray Dawn, Chong, talk about that party, and then I'm going to play Bill Maher from this week.
Okay, so here's the thing. We went to Jack's apartment, and he had friends who happened to be professional dancers and performers, and a couple of them were in deep drag. And what I learned is, and this is something I didn't know, there is a plethora of Christmas songs sung not mostly by women rappers that are pretty X-rated, and they're all about Santa. And one of them is about coming down the chimney with
the chimney with your tits out, Santa baby.
We sing it Santa all. Baby. I love it. It's a really sexy song, Santa? Actually.
I love
and
it.
You wouldn't know that if you're at a normal Christmas party.
No. So and we had a couple of drag queens there, all dressed up. One was dressed up as Barbie.
But we had dancers too.
One was in a leather skirt with a beard. And then
and his package was showing, remember?
Yeah, and Ray Dawn pointed out his balls were showing. That was one highlight of the party.
They weren't naked, but it was pretty funny.
Yeah, he was super cute. I talked to that girl guy at the end. I'm not
they were all really beautiful, MJ.
Beautiful.
There wasn't a dog in the group.
No dogs. And remember that one of Jack's friends who was a woman did the splits during the tits down.
She was like what they call them, and I guess I shouldn't say this anymore. I bet it's not politically correct, but she was like a fag hag, but you can't say that anymore because people get offended. So I say that knowing that it's not right, but she was their little fat chubby friend who could dance better than all of them.
She did the splits, right? She was awesome. But what was also really interesting,
and twerk. She had so much junk in the back. I was jealous.
I know she did that. But what was really cool at that party is a lot of the kids. There was some, and I call them kids if they're under 30. A lot of them were displaced because their parents would not have them home for Christmas. One of them, remember that great guy we talked to? His mom really didn't accept him. And so
because he's from Massachusetts, where they call them massholes for a reason. But Massachusetts is a place, where they talk like this and everybody's like, really masculine. And but actually, the math ain't math, and there's a lot of gay kids in Massachusetts.
Well, the Catholic
my heart
Church
goes out to you.
Catholic Church is pretty prominent there. But it was such a fabulous New Year's. We had Christmas Eve. We had such a great time. It was so fun.
How often do you two see each other?
Not as much as I'd like, but because now Mary Jo lives away and she does yoga. She doesn't come to bar class. We used to take bar class and see each other almost every day.
Yeah, which was good. But we've got big plans coming up.
And she doesn't do Aikido. I do Aikido. I'm obsessed with Aikido. And
we play tennis. We do our tennis.
That's true. And Mary Jo, we have to play because I have to practice. I'm playing singles in my next match.
Okay, I'll get you going.
I need to practice.
do that.
Okay, quick question. So, if Ray Don Chong left the Zoom and started walking to where MJ is right now. How long until Ray Don Chong reaches Mary Jo Eustace?
Oh, well, if I
Half
rode
an
my
hour?
bike, it would take about 15 minutes.
So a
No, I
bike
could do
ride is 15.
20 minutes. 20 minutes.
Yeah.
apart.
Okay.
We're super close. And
Yeah.
the other thing too, we're just giving you tidbits. Is this good? Do you want tidbits?
I want everything.
He's playing with this there. So what's really cool is during the award season, I'm Ray Dawn's plus one bitch, which I love. So I get to go to the most amazing parties. We go to all the screenings. Like we get so excited about the appetizers after the film. And I
Well,
want to
it's
say
not just
this.
screenings. They're not just screenings. They're private screenings for Academy members with
screenings.
all the filmmakers in attendance.
Yeah, so
So
we saw
I-
Saltburn with everybody there, like all the actors.
Jacob
We've seen
Elordi, all the gorgeous
Barry.
boys.
I don't know how to
Yes.
pronounce his last name.
Kyogen.
Yeah, he was adorable. I was talking to him and I went up to him. I'm such an idiot. He's been nominated for an Oscar, but he was so good in the film. So I go over to him. He's itsy bitsy. And I said, you know what? You're going to become really well known from this film. And he was so sweet to me. He was like, oh, Mary Jo, that's so sweet of you. And then this woman walks up to him, your friend, and says, what was it like to fuck a grave? And he's like, what? And that, because there's the scene in the film.
By the way,
But
that
he
was improv.
so charming. That
Oh,
was
God.
improv?
Yeah, that was an improv.
That
moment.
scene, I seen this movie. So Saltburn, I watched it. I quite liked it. Very much liked it.
I
And that
loved
scene
it.
reminded me of American Pie.
Yeah.
Did that happen in
But
American
how
Pie?
about
Well, he
how-
fucked a
I thought-
pie.
I think Saltburn's very erotic. I liked it a lot.
We loved it, and that
Yeah.
female director was there, and that Jacob Elordi
Emerald Fennell.
is
Elordi.
Jacob is
So-
the most handsome
Yeah.
man I've
Person
ever
Have you seen
seen in my
Priscilla?
life.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because he's
He's
Elvis
hot.
in Priscilla, as you know.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
didn't really like it. It felt like
No,
a painful.
it's not that good.
I felt like we were being snuffed in a sweater. It felt like somebody was
Yeah.
suffocating us. Remember, we just felt so suffocated by Priscilla.
And there was no food after, so we were pissed. So we left because we love our snacks after.
it's like
the
if we're
movie.
going to
We
come
like-
see your movie, fucking.
No, I was disappointed
Give
in
us abs.
Priscilla, but I really like Saltburn. But I saw a movie the other day. I'm curious if you two have seen it. You probably have. That I was blown away by. Past lives.
Yes.
Oh, I want to see
I
it.
loved it.
I haven't seen it
loved
yet.
It was beautiful.
It was
I loved
beautiful. Like MJ
That
and I agree.
actor, I have to say, I have to give a shout out to a film I'm in that I love called
Okay.
The Mistress. And that actor stars in The Mistress, and he's amazing. John
Which
Magaro.
actor?
He's the white guy, the guy Jen.
Oh,
John
the
Magaro,
boyfriend?
the husband.
The husband,
Mhm.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think
yeah.
he's the
yeah,
husband.
Yeah, Arthur.
So John stars in The Mistress, and it's a really good movie. And it's a horror movie, and he's fantastic. And I play his wife's mother.
Okay, so this
He was
Past
very good
Lives,
in that too.
you have to see it, RDC. No spoilers in this, except to say that
Okay.
Okay.
MJ, gorgeous movie, beautiful movie, thought provoking.
Yeah.
It sparked so many conversations I had with my wife afterwards about just the whole thing was so well written and so well acted, and I learned a little Korean, I think, so it was just perfect.
Is your wife
I loved
Korean?
it.
No,
Is
just
your wife-
no, she's of Filipino descent, but I learned Korean from this movie because they're Korean in the film.
Oh, that's good, Mike. So
Which
are you trilingual now? I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
I'll
just
try
trying to
anything,
compliment
MJ. You know that. Okay. All
No,
right.
I know. You'll spill it. You'll spill it.
Bill Maher. Okay, we're going to jump around. I like it when we jump around. Okay. Shout out to House of Pain. But I'm going to play a bit from Bill Maher's show this week. MJ, do you know what I'm going to play?
This.
What?
Yes, and she was right about this. Yes, she sent it to me, and I said, once you get under to the collective consciousness, and she's getting all this energy coming her way.
Okay,
from
well,
that
let me
one
play it, and then we'll
little
discuss
monologue.
this energy. I want to hear if Ray Dawn is experiencing some energy boosting here. But here, let's play this clip from Bill Maher.
What's trending on Twitter? Dementia Dawn, because Trump was talking about Nancy Pelosi during January 6th, but he kept calling her Nikki Haley. Nikki Haley did this. He also referred to the president of North Korea as Ray Dawn Chong. I thought that
For the win. For the win.
So, how did you feel when you heard that your name was dropped in the Bill Maher?
I thought it was a really good punchline.
Yeah.
I think the joke is excellent. And I think if you've got a 3-gong name, why not get some heat from it? And I have a little bit of a soft spot for Mr. Bill. I've known him for a long, long, long time. No, I didn't go to bed with him, but I have known him for a long time and have a lot of friends who have dated him. And I love him. I used to go on a couple of his shows, and I just, I wish one day that I would get a hit TV series so I could go and smack him around a bit on his new show or on the show he's got now. I love him.
I like him too.
I do too.
I also did not sleep with Bill Maher. I just want to throw that out there.
But a lot of people don't like him. I have a lot of female friends who don't like him. I actually once saved him at a car park at a valet. One of my crazy but very smart feminist girlfriends attacked him. And I had to kind of step between them because she was ready to punch him out because she thinks he's
he is a misogynist. No
he's
offense.
A little bit.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. There's a few things that really.
But he was one of the comedians that. But he was one of the comedians that took my side during the Oprah debacle. And so, like, he and Chelsea Handler were really supportive, I thought.
Do you know he got into the same trouble 2 years ago for exactly what you said? I can't remember who he said it about, but he had to come out and apologize. He said,
I didn't apologize, and I won't apologize.
He did.
Actually,
no,
I did not apologize. I just want to go on record.
Did not.
Well, remember, Ray Dawn has licensed. Ray Dawn Chong has license to use that word that Bill Maher does not have license to use.
Well, although if you speak to some serious African Americans, they would say I don't, because when you look at somebody who's mixy, immediately they say your mother was raped, because it's a very deep ancestral wound that harkens back to 400 years of oppression and slavery and torture and misery. So there's a big swath of the community that says, nope, you have to be pitch black to be able to use that.
But it's how you identify.
Or Dave Chappelle.
Okay, goodness gracious.
I love Dave Chappelle.
Or Cat Williams, I'm becoming more in love with Cat Williams.
Okay,
Thank you.
Lots of ground to cover, but there are many a Trumper who has used that term for the former president of the United States, Barack Obama, whose mom is very, very white.
Well,
they use that in a different context.
Trump still thinks Barack Obama that he's running against him.
Yeah, he thinks he's running against Obama.
And you know what I love about that? It's just that Obama is seared into his brain. And what's so amazing is Obama.
What brain? What brain?
Exactly. Seared into whatever is left of that mush pile. I mean, when you see the list of drugs that they were doing in the White House, have you heard about that?
Can I quote this to you? Okay, so this is from a tweet. Sorry, even though it's not called that, that's what I call it. But Ray Dawn Chong on Twitter. I took a note here. White House pharmacists reportedly distributed uppers and downers like candy to Trump administration officials during his time in office. Is that what you're referring to?
Yes.
Doesn't that make
heroin,
sense?
Dude, it's not just that. It's fentanyl, it's heroin, it's diazepam, it's Profigil, which is a cognitive medicine. But it's not just the fact that these were the drugs that were swilling around the hallway of the Oval. It's how much. It's page after page after page.
Is this just for him, or is this for all the staff?
Well, it doesn't say who it's for, but you can tell the cognitive medicine, Profigil, there's a lot of it. Yeah. Also fentanyl.
There's been rumors about him. He's got frontal lobe dementia. Like he's like completely his brain. I can't even imagine.
Profigil also apparently creates lesions on your hands, sores, because people
this is the whole thing with his hands bleeding and everything like that.
But
all I can say is,
if Biden had this kind of list of meds coming in and out of the hallways, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's a kind of it's a bacchanalia of pills and really strong drugs. We're talking morphine, fentanyl. And as somebody who grew up with drugs, that's a lot of drugs.
But there's no equivalency. I mean, like the Republicans and their messaging and what they do, they don't even have policies anymore.
Biden.
Poor Hunter Biden. He just happens to be an addict. And by the way, he was in the car when his sister and his mother died. And
by the way, he wasn't president. He wasn't president. And by the way, he's never been in office.
No,
he's not president. Yeah.
No, but the hatred for Hunter Biden.
He's not Ivanka and Jared. He didn't sit there and rape America.
Well, how long did Trump date his daughter for? Like, I'd like to nail that down.
Like, it's so bad.
What year? Pre his marriage? Okay. Is he still seeing her? Anyway,
there's an FOTM.
What about the fact that Trump is like besties with Epstein for years, decades? But decades.
He denies that now.
Well, I think at this point, those who support Trump don't really seem to give a fuck about his character or what he's done. And at this point, it seems to be that a Republican in the White House, somehow this will, I don't know, ban abortion or something.
I think Trump should go to jail and he should be surrounded by Trumpers.
Yeah, because he
like
hates
He
those
could very
people.
listen. He could very well go to jail. But here's something, and I read this guy, and I want to.
He has to
I
pay
think
a
it's
E.
called.
Jean Carroll, by the way.
Yeah. So his name is Jeff Tiedrick, I believe, and I find him on
Yes,
Substack.
he's
He
the
calls him
best.
fucking. Yeah, I read him all the time. But here's the actual deal about the $83.3 million that he's going to owe. The appeals, the bails, the bonds, the shit that you have to put up for all of this. He is hemorrhaging money. He is losing so much money throughout this. So he's he's gone to his base already to get the $2 donations, but actually the amount of money and the $367 million is prohibitive for him. Like he can't just walk away from this shit. He has to pay. He's responsible to the court. So it's just,
And every day he doesn't pay, there's interest. Can you
there's
imagine the
compound interest.
on $83 million?
Anyway, E. Jean Carroll was a distinguished writer prior decades to Trump. I've been
deserves
reading her for
everything.
years. Seeing her with her lawyer is a fucking pit bull. And they're like, if he fucks up again, we're going
Kaplan
love
for
her.
president.
We're going after him again. And this was so interesting to see E. Jean Carroll interviewed by Rachel Maddow and all these people because she didn't sleep. Of course, you wouldn't a week before you go into the courtroom. And when she sat down in front, she thought she would pass out. She actually lost her ability to speech for a couple of days. But when she sat down in the courtroom and looked over at him, she was like, oh my God, the emperor with no clothes. He's just orange. He's nothing.
No,
This man is nothing.
He's nothing.
So as a woman, Trump, I mean, it'll be interesting to see who dies first, Biden or
But
Trump.
here's
I
the
don't
thing
know.
that I got a little nervous about it, and the press are doing it, the mainstream press are doing it. They keep showing photographs of Robbie Kaplan. They keep talking about her. And when you find out that Mitt Romney has to pay $5,000 a day to protect his family
Security, yeah.
from just voting to impeach the loser, imagine what Robbie Kaplan has to pay, because now her face is everywhere. And I kind of think they need to stop that because there are losers out there with AR-15s.
But they can't stop it. They can't stop it. This train has left the station.
Them. I know.
No, the train's left the station. He's created this culture of divisiveness, of hatred. He says the unspeakable.
I just want the press to stop taking photos at me showing Robbie's face.
But they have to. She goes on every show.
Bonnie Willis having to do decoy.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys, this guy, I mean, I think we're not going to be thoroughly recovered from him. It's going to take at least 25 years.
It's going to take generations.
Yeah.
Generations from this man. Yeah. Anyway, Trump and Dean, too much airtime. Next.
And he showed in Mary Jo.
I don't think Dean is as bad, although he.
No, Dean, who I quite liked until he double crossed me. Okay, he seemed to be a charming guy.
Now we just feel sorry for him.
I don't want to drag
too much airtime.
Drag Dean.
Too much airtime.
But okay,
go next.
Last question on Dean is this. Very last question is: when you learned that there was a separation between Tori Spelling and Dean McDermott, did you, Mary Jo Eustace, experience any Schadenfreude?
Yeah.
But you can't answer for Mary Jo. We did.
Shut the fuck up, both of you. What I experienced was I've known about this for years. He's been telling me for years about this. He lives on top of the garage. The animals shit all over the house. That's why they had mold, because the pig had diarrhea in the bedroom. Whatever. Like, I've known about this for years and years and years. I could not care less. I really couldn't. I just think the whole thing is the trashiest, most ridiculous thing I've ever seen on a benign level. But the real level of like the collateral damage of what it's done and impacted my life is a very different thing. I couldn't care less.
No, because you repaired the relationship with your two kids. So why would you care about this noise over there?
I do not.
And you kind of could see it coming. It's the writing on the wall, you know.
And I've heard about the writing on the wall for about 6 or 7 years from.
But okay, did you?
So
but here's
heard about
MJ, you had a child, you had Jack together as a married couple, and then you were adopting.
I believe
Lola.
he's the father. Don't quote me. I believe he's the father.
That's none of my business, I suppose. But you have a child. You're in the process of adopting Lola, and then he leaves you for Tori Spelling. I would think that
I remember.
Yeah, I'm just recapping it for the audience. But when you learn that, he, like you, according to you, allegedly he's living above this garage and with shit.
No. He's not even there anymore. He's out.
No, not anymore. But when you learned about that years ago.
He's in a tent at the in the forest.
if
It did, under the 405.
Ray Don drove by his abode this morning at the corner. he's out
there,
in front
but
of
for the grace of
7-Eleven.
God, go I. But okay, when you learn about,
Yes.
things are shitty between, pun intended, when things are shitty between Tori and Dean, is there any part of you that's like, okay, there's your comeuppance, like good for this, is like feeling good about that happening because he left you for her? That's the Schadenfreude. I'm not German. I just speak a little German. I can say Schadenfreude.
I know. I'm so impressed because you've got your Korean, you've you've spoken a lot of languages.
Tagalog.
Yeah,
I don't even know how to say the word Schadenfreude.
Schadenfreude.
Anti-church social club. Honestly and truthfully, I could not be more bored by this topic.
Okay, well, we're going to move on then.
Didn't care. I just thought the whole thing was skeezy.
Right.
And I was like, I'm not surprised because I've been hearing about it.
Skeezy is a good word. Skeezy.
And my only, honestly, at this point is, will he be a good dad to my son? Will he cover the student loan? Well, no, he stuck it with me, and he's not a good dad to Jack.
No.
So that's all I care about, really, at the end of the day. And so I don't, whatever goes on there, it's noise, it's periphery.
But we do send both of them, we do hope that they get organized.
Yeah, because they have he's got a lot of kids. Like, he's got Jack with you, but he's got 5 others, right?
I call them honey boo-boos.
Okay, so we do wish, again, especially if he's I don't know, in recovery, he might have had some addiction issues. Like, this is no laughing matter. This is all very serious. So I hope he gets a handle on the addiction issues. On that note, I heard you say, Ray Don Chong, that you have been, 9 years without alcohol?
Actually, it's been 8, but I said 7. It's actually been 8.
Well, now I've made it 9, so you're okay. So
no, it's only been 8. I was reading my first month sobriety diary yesterday, and I saw the date, and it was like so cool. And the first month that I was sober, I isolated in Whistler. I took myself out of Los Angeles, away from all of my triggers and friends and who were super drinkers with me. And I put myself alone in a cabin in Whistler, and I did a lot of exercise. I had like a routine. I had what I call a sobriety. I guess in a way it's the DTs too, because you have to go through the struggle of addiction. So I went through it alone, but I also used a site. There's a site that was really active called Hello Sunday Morning, and it's a website, or it was more of a Facebooky kind of website. It's not like that anymore, but that's from Sydney, Australia, which is the land of a lot of drinking. And these young people created this world that you could check into every day and read blogs. They had like really cute things like I know this may sound strange, but when you're giving up a behavior, it's nice to get stars and to win, online, to have someone say, you get a badge for day 3. So it was really nice. And then there was a community. So I was able to sort of talk with other people who were white knuckling it, because I didn't go to AA. I have a little trouble with the whole church thing of AA. I love the fact that people have it for their sobriety, but it bugs me on a lot of levels. I have no problem talking about how badly I was addicted to booze, but I don't really like AA for that.
Can I ask you a quick question? Because we talked about this before. So when you actually decided to do it, like, were you drinking every day? Was it interfering with your life? Like, were you binging? Like, how did it manifest for you?
I was drinking every day, and I was drinking a lot every day. And it was winning. That's all I can say. It was winning. Like, I bullshitted myself by saying, wine with dinner, a couple drinks after dinner. And then all of a sudden I realized it was every day. And then one night I was alone at home. And the next one night I was alone at home. I don't remember most of the night, but the next morning I woke up and saw in the recycling a whiskey bottle and had absolutely no memory of polishing off that bottle. And that's when I thought, this is only going to get really bad, and there's probably, a million stories of like my near-death experiences, where I tripped and I didn't break my neck. I mean, things like this. I always feel like first of all, I just want to say to my angels and my guides that protect me and kept me alive and didn't give me a spinal cord injury or any of the stuff that could have happened, or that I didn't murder anybody driving under the influence, because I will confess, I drove under the influence. I mean, I was everything that you don't want to be, a lush. And so it was ugly. And that was for me. I thought, this is going to be bad. So I just decided at that moment, when I was looking at the whiskey bottle upside down in my recycling, I'm good. I'm tapping out. So I did, but I knew for me that I had to go somewhere for a month and just sit with myself. And I found out, as I was in Whistler, I found out that most of my compulsion to drink came from anxiety, social anxiety.
Wow. Yeah.
And I didn't,
because you're quite
know
shy, actually. I didn't know you're quite shy socially.
Not only am I well, here's the thing. I just realized that when I walked into a party, I would get liquid courage, and I counted on it. And then liquid courage would be like, I once had dinner. I once had dinner with John Kennedy Jr., the cute one. I have no memory of that, but I have a friend who remembers everything. And I'm thinking, it's so sad to have dinner with somebody as cute as that and not really remember it.
Wow.
I mean, it wasn't like anything bad happened or that I wasn't, well behaved, but it was bad that I have a friend who tells me about it, and I'm like, I wish I had been there.
And he cost Elaine Bennis the contest, right? She was thinking about JFK Jr. and then she had to rub one out.
Oh my God.
Is this on Seinfeld?
Oh yeah, sorry. I thought you might know Seinfeld. No,
I'm not. I never watched every single, but yeah. So those kind of things. So it's been 8 years, and I appreciate Hello Sunday Morning. You can still go to that site. I just think it's important, all behaviors. I'm reading a book right now called Atomic Habits. Have you heard of it?
No.
Well, it's an interesting book, and I recommend it to your viewers and your listeners. The guy that wrote it had a cataclysmic accident. He was an athlete in high school, and he had a really bad accident. And instead of, doing what most people do when they have really bad accidents, which is, they can devolve into oxycodone and then die. And, it just turns out bad because he was a star. But instead, he just changed his behavior one atom at a time. And the next thing you know, he completely turned his life around and made an amazing recovery and became a star athlete. But he ended up writing a book about it because he discovered that when we need to make really big changes, you don't have to do a quantum shift. You do an atomic shift, and it becomes a habit. And that little adjustment will compound. And so I think that that's important for people to know. You don't have to do big swings. You just have to be consistent.
Well, congrats on the 8 years, and
Thank you.
Good for you. And I recently heard an episode of Senior Bitches with Jan Arden and Mary Jo Eustace. And Jan...
Oh, yeah.
So Jan's not sure. By the way, this episode bumped our very own Mary Jo Eustace into the top 30 on Apple Podcasts. Like
Congratulations.
It was such a huge episode for you, MJ.
Yeah. It was like, no, it was a top 20. What does
that mean?
There.
What does that mean, you guys? Does that
mean?
mean...
And I even think top 10, I texted you. It means that we got into the, they only chart the top 200. I actually beat this one over here, Toronto Mike. So we got into the top of the charts, and I got into the States, Mexico, Australia, all over the world, which is really great.
Which was amazing. But Jan and you were, of course, I listened to it twice because I heard it in real time, and then I re-listened to it after the edits and everything. And then I heard Jan was talking about her sobriety, like she quit drinking. And then MJ revealed that she was taking a break. Give us an update on that, MJ. Like, why did you take a break? Are you still on the break? What is the plans with your alcohol consumption?
My alcohol problem. I'm still on the break. And to Ray Dawn's point, I didn't forget dinner as glamorous with, our
JFK Jr.
John Kennedy
Not
Jr.
Robert, John. That's the hot one.
I mean, he was a hot piece, but they both were. But I don't remember things, and I don't remember parts of evenings, and it inhibited behavior that maybe I wouldn't have done if I wasn't drinking. Plus, ordering online late at night and then stuff coming and going, what the hell is this? Like, and plus bad headaches. I wasn't feeling good, and it wasn't doing anything for me. It wasn't serving me. And I thought, I don't want to do this anymore. I really don't want to do it. was looking way too forward to my evening cocktail. And it did change my behavior for sure. And so I thought, I'm just going to go cold turkey. And now that I've started, I'm going to my mother's 87th birthday on Thursday. And I'm not going to drink because I want to remember every conversation. And to your point, I was forgetting things that were happening. And I am a lightweight, and I actually read chemically that can happen. It just hits you, the alcohol hits you in a different way, and you don't remember. So I could maybe go years. I mean, I do love the idea of being in Rome or somewhere and having a glass of wine. I love that idea.
Moderation.
But I have no desire to drink at this moment.
By the way, Mary Jo, I saw a house that's for sale for like 230 euros. It's near Umbria, and it's really rustic, and it needs to be redone. There's buildings on it, and I think it's an acre, and it's got water.
Should I pick it up and we can do Christmas there next year? I'm going to
send it to you because I thought of you, and I thought, I'd almost want to ship
Let's buy it together, the three of us. Like, I want to be like co-owner of this house with you two.
Let's do it. This is my dream. I am going to buy something in Italy. And we talked even about last Christmas going to Italy for Christmas. So I definitely want to do that.
Okay,
That's a dream.
We all love Italy. Let me shout out authentic Italian food you can get right here in the greater Toronto area. Okay. I wish you to. Now, I've never met Ray Dawn Chong in the flesh. Like, she won't come to Toronto, even though Precious Chong lives here. Oh, before I forget, I'm going to come back to Palma Pasta. But did you, Ray Dawn Chong, hear Precious? It's hard to say Precious Chong.
Precious Chong.
Yeah. Did you hear her on Toronto Mike? She made her debut. She's an FOTM.
Yeah.
A debut. Nice. She made her debut on Toronto Mike.
A debut.
Yeah, she was good. Her debut.
So I did Precious Chong's show. She'd been trying to get me to do it for years.
Story and Chong. Is that what it's? Story and Chong? Or did I get the wrong show?
It was another show she was doing on being a mom.
Okay, right.
Yeah. She was adorable.
Okay, so lovely. All this is to say that Precious got a large lasagna from Palma Pasta because she came here into my basement studio. One day, if either of you ever make your way down here, I will reward you with delicious Italian food from Palma Pasta.
I like that.
But no Great Lakes beer because neither of you are drinking, so no Great Lakes for you.
I'm there this weekend, biatch. I'll head on down to the west.
Can I tell you something? Yeah. I will tell you one moment that I feel where I'll get a little pang for a drink is when I go to a nice swanky restaurant and I look at their whiskey backlit.
The golden brown.
I'll have a moment of like, and I'll just have a moment of like, oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Because I was a red wine whiskey girl. Weird combo, but.
I'm white wine gin. No vodka because it makes me crazy. Yeah. But white wine and gin for sure. For sure.
So much love to Palma Pasta, much love to Great Lakes Brewery, much love to Ridley Funeral Home, pillars of this community since 1921. Raymond James Canada has a fantastic podcast called the Advantaged Investor Podcast. In fact, I was recording with them downtown at King and Yonge Street here in Toronto when I got a WhatsApp call from Mary Jo Eustace asking me, have you seen people.com today? That was the question. And I was standing beside Chris Cooksey when I got it, and I was like, I got to bike home now, but what's going on? And there you go. And Chris Cooksey likes to remind me that he was in the room when I got the call that I was referenced in the tabloids.
Oh my God. Congratulations.
Yeah, so listen.
I know, that was his cherry.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Subscribe to
I want to ask you something, Mike.
Anything, please.
Really quickly about your Justin Trudeau.
Yes, he's our prime minister.
Why is everyone picking on him about his gifts from a billionaire? I don't understand.
Oh no, it's not everyone. Like,
has he met Clarence Thomas?
If I will, I'm talking to you from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, and it is as you know, because you're both Canadian, it's the largest city in the country. Here, all our seats go to the Liberal Party federally. All our seats go to the Liberal Party or NDP. Like, none of the seats go to the Conservative Party of Canada. Trudeau, this is coming from elsewhere in this country where they've decided we've had enough of Trudeau. It's time to try something more Trumpian like Pierre Poilievre. Like, that's inevitable. That's going to happen. But it won't be because of Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We will not give a single seat to Pierre Poilievre's Conservative Party of Canada.
Right, right.
Where will
It's a
it come
weird.
from? East Coast?
No,
It'll come from the oil, right? West Coast?
Well, lots of Ontario will do it, just not Toronto. So a lot of Ontario, especially as you get to the 705 and stuff like that's going to go conservative. A lot of the West will go conservative. Not too much in Quebec, maybe some in the Maritimes. But yeah, I suspect the Conservative Party will get a majority next election. But whenever that happens in the next couple years.
I hope not. I hope not.
Well, I hope not
And
too,
Mary
but I get
Jo,
one vote.
Are you a Chiefs fan? They're going to the Super
Excuse
Bowl.
me. I look at how she asked. I've been a Chiefs fan for 4 years. I actually won a bet when the Chiefs played the 49ers in 2020, and I was dating this super hot guy, and I won. And we went to Pelican Hill for the weekend because I won. The Chiefs won. I love the Chiefs. I listened to the
Chiefs,
Kelsey
Chiefs.
Brothers podcast. I've listened to it for as long as they've had it. I adore it.
So you must be really
I love
happy.
Travis.
Are you
Patrick
happy?
Mahomes is my guy. Watch the series quarterback. Honestly, Patrick Mahomes is my mentor. I love
Is that how
him. I
you
love
say
the
it?
Chiefs.
Mahomes or Mahomes?
Mahomes.
It was us will go. He's our Mahomie. Like people in the know that. That's what you say about Patrick. So I'm
And is he
thrilled
a
the Chiefs-
mixie? He looks mixy.
Yeah, his mom's white, his dad's black, and he's tremendous. He could have been a baseball star. Athletically, he's absolutely
yeah. Well,
incredible.
he's
His
incredible, MJ.
mindset. He's so scrappy. I could talk about his lateral throws and his eye-hand coordination, but I won't. But they're playing the 49ers, and I love the 49ers. It's going to be a great game. Too bad about Detroit, but you know what? Detroit and the Buffalo Bills. This is what I said to my brothers. I said, the 49ers and the Chiefs are closers.
Right.
Never count them out. If they have a minute on the field, they're going to make it happen.
They're
So,
going to make it happen. Now,
I'm
it's
thrilled.
in Vegas. It's in Vegas. the
I
Super
know.
Bowl.
God, what if
It's so
somebody invited
close.
me? I'd walk to Vegas to watch that
I
game.
actually have a connection in Vegas. His name is Jay Sean, and he is my brother, and he owns Vegas. He is he's a superstar, and
Can we go in the rig? Can we drive in the rig and go? Will you come with me?
We will talk about it because first of all, I don't even care about football, and it would be a
Yeah,
waste
but
of a
we'll
Super
have
Bowl
fun.
ticket. But
We'll
I
have
might be
fun.
able to. I'm after this show. We'll talk.
I'll give you a
Wow.
hot dog. I'll buy the hot dogs. No beer, but we'll
Can we
have
go in
hot
the
dogs.
rig? The only time I've ever heard her say that.
Wow.
Let's go in the rig. Oh my God, I'd love it. Seriously, I'm obsessed. Yes, I'm very excited during the Super Bowl.
I'm
Put it
sure
that
the
way.
tickets are super expensive because it's Vegas, and everybody wants to go to Vegas for some reason.
Yeah, but you have to know if I knew somebody and I could get a ticket, I'd drive
Oh
there.
my! I'm
it's
telling you,
my
Jay
dream.
Sean right now, his phone's ringing off the hook. But what he
Okay.
does is he is literally the mayor of Vegas. He is, and he
You'd have fun. We'd go. We'd have fun. Look, there's so
Jay
much going
Sean
on at the
is my
Super Bowl.
stepbrother. He's my mom's
Okay.
second husband's son.
Okay, work on it. And even if you don't love football, I'll explain how it
I
goes. Want some
don't.
hot
I
dogs
have
and
to say,
popcorn.
I'm not I'm a tennis girl.
Mike,
I
help
really-
me out. Tell her.
Well, I will
Tell
say
her
this
how
to Ray
fun
Don
it'll
Chong,
be.
like, because I know people who don't like football, but maybe you can get into the event of it all. Like, this isn't all these eyeballs on the same
But
thing.
if I could get Mary Jo in and get her a
Right.
ticket and set her up, because she knows how I roll, I'm very generous.
Right.
So
Very
I'm going to
generous.
find out if there is any way. I mean, there is a limit. Mary Jo actually has money right now. So I'm
is that
thinking
true,
I
Mary
might be able
Jo?
to work
My
this out.
accountant wants to know, do you have money right now?
I do. Send those old invoices. Do you like how I
There-
pay the second we're done now?
Yeah.
that-
We got some talking to do after this. That's amazing. Hey, I
Okay.
have a note. So I have like a Google Doc it's like a living, breathing organism. I'm always taking notes on like potential guests and questions I have for them. And
Okay.
I realized last time you were on, Mary Jo, I had a question for you that we ran out of time and I never got to it. And I'm glad Ray Don Chong is here because I'm going to play a song and then I kind of need the story about this. Are you ready to listen to a little music with me?
Sure.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. And imagine you said no. I'd say, well,
Oh no. Oh God, no. I'm so scared what he's gonna play.
Yeah.
Okay, this song is called Loose Change. Ray Dawn, do you know who's singing this song?
The irreplaceable Mary Jo Eustace.
Okay, Mary Jo.
Mary Jo is this.
Oh, wow. Wow.
I
What a
can tell
blast from
by-
the past. Wow.
How old are
Wow. Where did
Okay.
you find that?
We need all the details because I feel like we talk about so much about the show you had of Ken Kostick, and then you had the that was the cooking show, and then you had the show on Proud FM. Bob Willette's a good friend. He comes over every month. We say, "Hey, Bob, Mary Jo Eustace," and we smile, we laugh. We love it. We love it all. We talk about the tabloid bullshit, and we talk about how you have senior bitches, and we never talk about this. Please tell us about your recording career.
Recording. Yay.
That is so sweet of you. I got a record deal. I was old for it, I think in my early 30s, but I had been doing it for 10 years, and it was my second record deal. And I loved it. And I played with great musicians. Bill Bell, who plays with Tom Cochrane and was Jason Mraz's musical director. I actually had Mike Taylor in my band, who was in Walk Off the Earth. You know that band?
From Burlington.
He passed away. He passed away in his sleep. And Andy Koyama, my boyfriend at the time, but I was having an affair with a guitarist, never a good idea, is an Oscar-nominated sound mixer. So, yeah.
You
that's
sounded
so sweet
good.
you found
You
that.
sounded really, really good.
That was one of my soft ones. I used to do the rock and roll and belting and stuff. But
She sounded good.
yeah.
You can hear her voice.
Thank
too.
you.
So did you want to
Thank you.
be?
I loved it.
Did you want to be like like a Jan Arden? Like, was that the goal?
Yeah. I wanted to do music. And we finally got a great manager, the guy who managed Blue Rodeo. And I think Jake Gold was involved, and they put us on the road. And I remember this one night, we'd been playing for a long time, and finally in the fifth or sixth song, I'm like, wow, we're getting good. I didn't know you had to do that. Like, we just went everywhere and played everywhere, and then we got really good and got the deal, and whatever. But it was a moment. I loved it.
Did you like the road though? Did you like being on the road?
I didn't love that. Wasn't loving that. I was
needed
the
the
only girl,
rig.
but yeah, we needed the rig. But we actually got better, and I was like, "This is how you have to do it to be really good." And
By the
it was a
way-
great ride.
You're dropping
Great
big
ride.
names there, like Jake Gold, right? And
Yeah.
all Canadians know the Tragically Hip and Jake Gold. He's
and I was in a blue. This is so funny. I was in a Blue Rodeo video. I loved Blue Rodeo. Jim Cuddy and who's the other guy? Greg
Keeler.
Who's the Greg Keeler. So, Ray Dawn, I get in this video. I tell everybody I'm in the video. I'm so excited. So I play a sexy cleaning lady at a motel, and I go in, and there's shots of my legs and this short dress, and I'm like, in every scene, I tell everybody, it comes out, it's my feet and the back of my head.
Okay, what's the
And
song?
then-
What song is this from? What song is this video from?
Oh God, I have to look it up. I can't remember what it is.
Well,
and I
look it
ran
up.
into the guys, and I went right up to them. And I'm like, "What's going on?" And they were like, "We didn't edit it, but I thought it was going to be so famous being in the Blue Rodeo video." But we opened for
okay.
them a few times and stuff, and it was tons
Okay,
of fun.
I had a woman over here recently, Michelle McAdory. Do you know this name? Michelle?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Crash Vegas.
Crash Vegas. And that's what her boyfriend at the time was Greg Keeler. And
Greg Keeler,
she's in a couple of, she's in Try and a couple of Blue Rodeo videos, but
I
her
know.
face, not
She
just her
got the
feet.
lead,
Right?
not me.
By the way, just to change the subject for a second, have you guys been seeing the Sofia Vergara show, Griselda,
No. Is it good?
on Netflix? I never like really violent television shows. It's not my jam. But Sofia Vergara is playing a Colombian drug dealer, and it's really good. It's called Griselda,
okay.
and it's on Netflix. You will like it. Sorry, I just had to say that because it was like,
No, my mom told me about it. My nephew had a birthday last weekend, and I saw her, and my mom was telling me about this, Sofia
so good.
Vergara show. Okay. All right.
and
gotta check it out.
As I was listening to you talk about being showing your feet, I was thinking, women, speaking of empowerment, this show about this drug dealer, it's not just about the coke and the violence and the whole thing. It's actually about power and about how this Colombian woman rises to be the godmother of Miami and then the world of coke. And it's fascinating. And Sofia Vergara is doing a great job. Yay, girl. Go. Hot
I'm
thing.
going to tune in. I got a few more
Tell-
things to get through, like the Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and then I'm going to check it out.
But you watched that with your son, right?
Oh yeah, he turned me on to it and I couldn't even believe it. Like
The Salt Lake City girls?
oh my God, there's one woman who like married her grandfather. One's going to jail. One beat her up. They go on girl trips and all they do is yell and scream at each other and dress up like in costumes. It's bizarre, but I cannot stop.
Stop
And the
watching.
Mormon church is in the background.
Wow.
It's so dumb, but I love it.
Why did your
Right,
music? Go ahead. Go ahead, RDC.
So I was just going to say back to Mary Jo. Mary Jo's a rock star.
Well, Mary Jo, why did it end?
I could
for
have
you?
been.
Why did it
I
end?
could have been.
Why does it come to an end? Your
No.
musical dreams.
My musical dreams. Oh, do you remember a band called Frozen Ghosts?
Arnold Lanny. Yeah, I know him well. He started up Our
He
Lady
wanted
Peace.
he produced us, and then he wanted me to leave the band and go solo. Talk about and I wouldn't do it. So I worked with Arnie, and I would just go up and write and record.
Yeah.
You know what happened? I got nodes from singing live,
Oh, yeah.
and then I had surgery, and it changed my voice.
Oh, yeah.
And then I came back, but I did the record after my voice changed. But my voice was so pure before that. But
Fascinating. I didn't know
pushed it.
this. Oh, I didn't know
Yeah.
this. So your voice, you had this pure voice, and then you had these nodes from singing, and then whatever procedure they do changed your voice, and you couldn't
Yeah.
hit that note, I guess, or you couldn't sing with that purity.
It's not the same.
Here's
You
the
have to
deal.
relearn.
You have to relearn how. And once I did relearn, and I started training for it and, getting back into it. And again, it's like the 10,000 hours. You've got to keep doing it. And then I got to my old level, but it was like singing every day and being on top of it. Now I can barely sing. I mean, I can if I work on it, but I knew my voice back then. I got it back, but it took a year.
But you're
Like
multi-talented.
the record company came to me and said, we want to sign you. And I'm like, I remember going for lunch with this guy and going, I just had anyway, so I worked it back and it was an accomplishment. It was something I wanted to do. And I've written like hundreds of songs with super, super cool people. So yeah, I just, that was my dream. That's what I wanted to do.
Because Ray Dawn could introduce you to Mick Jagger.
Apparently.
No, he doesn't talk to me anymore. He stopped talking to me when I did press about how it was gross to be licked by him on film. I said I didn't really like it, and that was the end of us.
Oh, I thought you were saying licked by
what I was
him in the bedroom, but no, okay.
Right.
Oh,
No, that
that's
happened
personal.
too. But on film, he licks my face, and I remember being sort of offended that why would he do that? It wasn't even like a thing. But my dog is making noise. But I was going to say, Mary Jo, your friend Maria McKee would tell you the life of a rock star, even if you're super successful, is really hard.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
she couldn't do it. She couldn't do it. Maria McKee for Lone Justice. She opened for U2. Like she's brilliant. She couldn't do
it's a really
it.
tough life, and I don't think it's fun. And I think you get on the road and you're super lonely. It's one thing to be a guy doing that, and it's already really hard on you. But being a female, I think it sucks.
Yeah, I did love it. And if I ever got my act together again, I would start to write again because I loved songwriting. But yeah, that's so funny you found that. That was such a significant part of my life.
You know
and it
who
was
tipped
pure
me
joy.
off?
I loved doing it.
Mary Jo, because I was very...
Who tipped you off?
I'm about to name the name that tipped me off.
Mick Jagger?
You guys fuck off.
Who? I know, seriously.
I also look like a young Moroccan boy, so he's kind of into me, I think. But okay, so this is years ago when we first started working together, Mary Jo. I got a note from a listener who's listening right now, Blair Packham from the Jitters.
Oh,
yes. Cool.
And Blair said
You know
did
Blair?
I know,
Yes.
so tell us how you know Blair Packham since he's listening to us right now.
Blair Packham this is so funny. Are you going to edit this? We could talk for days.
I'm not going to edit this.
I know. We probably have to go.
90 minutes and it'll wrap us up.
I believe he played with Mo in The Pursuit of Happiness.
Mo Berg.
But I could be wrong.
Mo Berg.
I think he also played with one of my really good friends, Melanie Doan.
Okay, when you say played with, you mean like shared a stage for a one-off? Is that what you mean?
What was his band?
The Jitters. Like,
okay.
I've been a fool, played it dumb, should have played it smart, used my head, but not my heart. Must have been crazy
I've met
playing it.
him.
You've met him.
I've
Good.
met him. I definitely know his name, and I think he's played like all those Canadians. Like we did, like I wrote with Sarah Harmer. Like we all went on.
Well, name drop here. I'm trying to find out if this is like a songwriter's circle or something. Where this is what was described to me by Blair. Like You write songs together in some circle?
Yeah, it was a really cool thing. So they took all the Canadian musicians and there was big musicians in it. Like Sarah Harmer, he was in it. Mo Berg might have been in it. And then they would just pair you up randomly with somebody to write a song, which I thought was a great idea. And then you'd have 2 weeks to do it. And actually on that album, CD, I don't even know what you call them anymore. I co-wrote a song called Hurricane, which is one of my favorite songs that came out of that songwriting workshop. It was an amazing thing.
Who did you write Hurricane with?
Artist.
Who did you write it with? Bob Dylan? Who did you write that with?
It was Bob. It was Bob. Bob Dylan was there. Van Morrison, Springsteen.
No, seriously though, was that a Blair Packham production? Was that you and Blair, or was that somebody else you wrote Hurricane with?
It was a woman, and I can't remember her name.
Okay, Alanis Morissette.
It was Jan Arden.
It was Joni Mitchell. Joni Mitchell.
It was Joni Mitchell. But
Joni Mitchell's going to play at the Grammys.
I know. First time she's ever played.
No, she's going to play at the Bowl.
Well, at the Grammys
too. On she's coming in. I think October 24th. She's going to be playing live at the Bowl.
Love that. Love it. Well, I'm going to see her on the Grammys because it's cheaper for me to just watch her on the TV there. Okay, so right on a couple. So again, we'll talk for a couple more minutes here because I want to make sure you have an opportunity to ask me all the questions you have about my health and my blood clotting and all that exciting stuff. But Radon.
Well, did you have a near-death experience?
No. I don't think so because I didn't get the stroke. I was in the stroke ward sleeping with the stroke victims because a stroke was imminent, but obviously not imminent because I never did stroke out. So I had
But you were close.
Well, I had a blood clot on my brain, which if you don't get it in time, it leads to a stroke. And that's why I was in the stroke unit or whatever. But I went on blood thinners and I never did get the stroke. And the blood clot's gone now. So I just have, long story short, if that's possible now, I have a disorder that causes my blood to clot, but they don't know what it is because they don't have a test for it because I test negative for everything they have a test for. So really, literally on Thursday, I get a CAT scan on another part of my colon, my tract or whatever, because really at this point, they're just trying to make sure it's not cancer, which because that's something that causes blood clots. But I don't have, I've not tested positive for anything that they have a test for. So right now I just take blood thinners.
I wonder if you're allergic to something.
I don't know. It came out of nowhere in March 2023. So I've been living with this for less than a year. So I don't know. It just, I don't know.
I wonder if you're allergic to something. I wonder if it's environmental even. Do you know about the industry in your neighborhood?
So these are the big questions. I don't know. I don't know. I have a hematologist and I had a neurologist for the brain, but I have a hematologist for the blood clotting. And I just kind of leave it in their capable hands. And then we kind of, but I don't know.
I always wonder, though, sometimes what happens is people don't realize that sometimes an industry moves into a neighborhood and they have effulgent. They dump at night. And if it's a toxic substance, it can impact you because you're sleeping at night unaware that you're breathing in something that could create a DNA, an adjustment into your system. And I don't know where you live, but it happens often and it's unregulated because a lot of times people don't follow regulation. So you should find out what's in your neighborhood. Something might have moved in at 2003 that causes your body to respond because it sounds like an allergic reaction.
Okay, but 2023 is when I got my first blood clot.
Yeah.
But okay.
2023.
I call him my little blood clotting friend. That's what I call him.
I know, but you should find out. I don't know where you guys live.
Well, I'm very Ray Don Chong. I'm so hyper aware of everything going on in the hood here. I'm on my bike exploring every nook and cranny. And, there is a new coffee shop opened, and I'm going to keep my eye on where they're dumping those coffee grounds. But I'm going to...
You're so funny.
Exactly.
I want to read
something. Yeah. I was driving from a racetrack because my ex-husband was a race car aficionado, and he had designed this race car. Anyway, we were driving home, and we were in northern Massachusetts, and there was a smell. And it was really bad. And sure enough, I looked it up, and it was this toxic... It was actually a paper mill, and it was dumping stuff at night and really bad stuff.
Right.
And people are sleeping. So there's cancers and stuff that come from these, so when they say they think it's a cancer, I'm just thinking you might be suffering from something like that.
Well, let's hope it's, who knows what it is, but I'll let you know as soon as I get some kind of a diagnosis on what causes these blood clots. But I want to read a note for you, Ray Don Chong from Buffalo Boy. Buffalo Boy is a good listener. He comes to our events. And Buffalo Boy said, My favorite Ray Don Chong movie, this is going to shock you to hear that it's Commando, when she fired the rocket launcher at the police.
She does that every day that I know her. She's so busy
I'm good
doing
with
that.
rocket launchers. And what does he want to know? Or did
Yeah, he just
telling
wants,
you?
I don't know. He just, I went on Twitter and said you were coming on, and then he wanted to let us know that he
Sweet. Well, I'm
loves
glad
Commando.
that my bazooka work got him inspired.
Do you want to hear
He's
5
happy
seconds?
about it.
Hey, Mary Jo, do you want me to play 5 seconds of Ray Don Chong in Commando with a guy named Arnold Schwarzenegger? You want to hear it?
I think I do.
5
Yes.
seconds.
I've never even seen it. I want to hear it. Let me hear
Okay, let's play these 5
hear it.
seconds.
Are you all right?
I think I'm dead.
You're all right. Wait for me.
That was it. They don't, that was it. So I pulled a little clip there.
I think I'm dead.
All I do is squeal in this movie. What are you doing?
God, you sounded super sexy. I'm
So,
gonna
Mary
watch
Jo,
it
you've
tonight
never-
after Real
Yeah.
Housewives of Salt Lake City.
I was going to say, you become very good friends of Ray Don Chong, and you don't think about, watching the biggest movie she's ever been in.
I always forget I'm in movies until I don't.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I know I should watch Commando and
No.
Quest for Fire.
No.
I want to.
Press for Fire, I'm actually proud of.
Yeah, of course.
I mean,
Can we
Commando,
watch
I
it together
like too.
and I can get commentary? Let's watch it together.
No, you know what I like to do? I have this thing. I should probably do it for like one of those mystery house theaters with the puppets. What is that called? You know those guys?
Mystery
the puppets?
Science 3000.
Yeah, I like that show. And I like to watch my
Theater.
super bad, horrible movies
Right.
and then make fun of me. And I can tell you what I'm thinking in the scenes. Like I did that with a film
Well,
called The Borrower, which is just unwatchably bad. And I'm trying to get out of the movie while I'm making the movie.
I would watch Commando with you, like just a box where you in real time give us like commentary on everything. I would do that. Okay, before we say goodbye to everybody, I've already told the world they should subscribe to Senior Bitches. It's a great podcast from Mary Jo Eustace. But
Thank you.
just a final check-in here. Ray Don Chong, like, how are you doing? What's going on in your world? Is there anything we should look forward to seeing from you in the near future? What would you like to say to everybody?
I don't think I have anything other than I'm on all the platforms. I'm auditioning for stuff. I just found out I didn't get one of my jobs that I auditioned for, which was, I actually don't care. I mean, you want to do a good job, but then when they don't go with you, it's usually it's a saying, rejection is protection, and you don't want to be in a job that they don't want you. So there you go. I'm not doing anything. I'm actually just playing a lot of tennis, taking care of my animals.
Is that a
taking care of
euphemism?
Huh?
Taking care of your animals? Was that a euphemism?
I have 2 pit bulls
No,
that I take care of. I literally have animals.
Okay.
And I'm crazy about my dog. So I'm learning how to be a good dog mommy, taking care of my boyfriend who's a musician and he's making a record. Yeah, I'm actually enjoying not doing. I have nothing on the horizon and I'm enjoying that. I'm just
Wow.
finishing a book or 2, trying to kind of do that, get more disciplined about writing every day. And it's trying to write a book that's interesting that I would read, not a book for people. Like, in other words, I'm not writing for the audience, I'm writing for myself. And it's taking a long time.
Hey, what kind of music does your boyfriend make? Like what genre? Like folk? What are
So
we doing here?
Mitchell is a master guitarist and he specializes in world music. He speaks fluent Portuguese and he's a jazz, but he plays choro and Brazilian samba and he's bossa nova. I mean, he's a really good musician and he's gotten better. His singing,
Well, you're his
everything's
muse,
just so good.
right? You're his muse. You're his muse?
I'm definitely his muse and he writes songs for me. I mean, he's annoying. I think musician boyfriends suck, but I do love him, which is amazing. And I will say being in a relationship, especially now we're in our 7th year, is
Wow.
hard. I think it's really hard. And so I mostly love him, but a lot of times I hate his guts.
Okay.
And he knows
I've
this. He's
heard.
standing right on the other side.
I've heard.
He's listening to
But-
you. Yeah.
But I respect it and I respect being so here I am, a human being. I'm trying to be a better human being.
Okay, well, you
That's
look
what I'm
great.
doing.
You sound great. And I love following you on the social media. And I love that I consider you a wonderful FOTM. And this won't be the last time we talk, but I appreciate you coming back on. And I'm
Definitely.
You're coming
definitely
back.
an FOTM.
And you're definitely coming back. And I don't know why you won't visit Precious. I have none of my business. But at some point, you should come to Toronto. And then we can embrace.
Yes, we will definitely
Over lasagna, you'll
Right.
embrace.
we will
Right.
share a meal and giggle.
Oh, my God. That sounds amazing. And Mary Jo, you're coming to Toronto tomorrow? When are you coming here?
I'm coming Thursday.
Okay, what time should
So
I be
I
at
don't know,
dinner?
maybe coffee, like maybe coffee.
Oh,
if you're
maybe
like-
All right, I'm
coffee.
going to let you guys fall in love.
Oh,
I love
okay.
you so much. I'm
Okay,
gonna
Ray
kick
Don's
off.
leaving. Bye, Ray Don Chong. Leaving
Bye,
the
honey.
show.
Bye, Canada. I love
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye, 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 bye.
Mary Jo, you and I are
Bye.
going to close the show. This is the way the good Lord
Okay.
intended here. So you're coming to Toronto
Okay.
because your mom's turning 87.
She's turning 87. I'm coming to Toronto. So if you're on your bike, maybe we can do a little
I'm-
coffee or something.
I'm always on my bike.
If
Yeah.
you're- okay, perfect.
I'd be happy to
perfect.
come
And then
over
I think we might have a big guest we're doing on Sunday.
Yeah,
I'm
like I was
just
gonna
trying to finalize that.
Yeah, tease.
I'm
Do you want to
excited about
tease
that.
anything? Is there anything that's locked in? I know that we have some recordings coming up, but is it too premature to name these people, or do you want to like just get people excited about what's coming down the senior bitches pipe?
Well, we have a show we're going to drop Wednesday or Thursday with Caroline Bodino, who is a huge, I don't even want to say influencer. I don't love that, but she's got 1 million followers. She is changing the way women think about themselves and dress, and she was just pure joy. And we're going to do Patty Stanger from the Millionaire Matchmaker next week. So I'm excited about that. And I'm just going to get confirmation on Captain Jason from Below Deck. He's in Dubai. So we're trying to schedule that. So we have so many cool people coming up. So we love this. We're very excited. Very.
And I love having you on Toronto Mic'd. I want to thank the great Bob Willett for introducing us. With no Bob,
Hey, Bob!
no MJ on Toronto Mic'd, right?
Correct. Absolutely correct. Bob Willett, who used to eat a hot dog at 6 a.m, barf, when he produced my radio show. We love you, Bob.
Hot dog.
love
Where do you
Bob.
even? You have to make it yourself, right? You don't. There's no vendor selling you hot dogs at 6 a.m.
It was so gross. He dropped it on the control board. I can't talk about it. I'm still traumatized.
And that brings us to the end of our 1,420th show. You can follow me on Twitter and Blue Sky. I'm at Toronto Mike. The place to follow Mary Jo, I've learned, is Instagram. Follow Mary Jo Eustace on Instagram. It's really the only social media she posts to. And it sounds like Ray Don Chong is everywhere, so follow her wherever you like to follow people on social media. Much love to all who made this episode possible. That's Great Lakes Brewery. That's Palma Pasta. That's recyclemyelectronics.ca. That's Raymond James Canada. And that's Ridley Funeral Home. Checking my calendar. See you all. When am I going to see you all? Oh, see you all Friday when my special guest in person is Morgan Campbell. That should be very cool. See you all then.
And your smile is fine, and it's just like mine, and it won't go away. 'Cause everything